What is going on, mortals? Mortal T here. And today I've got some more Ark news for your mortals, and this is basically all about the Dino TLC patch that should be coming to every single dino in the game. Yes, that is right. Every single dino. As you can see, we are back on the community forum, so take a look at the information. Now, I've already done a video on this about Phase 1, showing you the pictures, the differences between the old ones, and what the new ones are going to look like. Well, today I've got news about Phase 2 and additional information on Phase 1 on what they're actually doing to the dinos, or the new abilities or the reskins or whatever it is. So that's the information I've got for you in this video. So today, here we go. This is the information I have to scroll up to. This is on the Community Crunch, obviously. 116 Dinos TLC patch, upcoming patch notes, blah 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 blah. So it does say here, Dino TLC patch Phase 2 preview. So we're gonna get into it right now. So the first one up is the Argent Harvest, or Argent Harvest, or however you like to pronounce it. Now this is the old one right here, and this is the new one. Honestly, it's really hard to say. Don't get me wrong, the head looks better. Instead of popping straight out, it does go up and out. I've always found that weird, how that your head just sticks straight out. Makes no sense. The feathers definitely look better. The heads itself got more detail in it, and they've made them more like vulture-like more than anything. Yeah, it does look better, to be perfectly honest. The feathers, everything's got more detail on it. It just looks a lot better. Now I know some people do like the original. Don't get me wrong, the original wasn't too bad. Maybe if they just reskinned it and gave it a bit more colour, it'd be alright. But I definitely do think there's a big improvement in the head. That's me personally. But anyway, we got some information on the Argent Harvest and what it's going to be doing. So, the Argent Harvest, or Harvest, whatever you want to call it, has long since been a favourite flyer to many. With its high health, weight and stamina, it's an essential air mount that now will be getting a bit more love. The Dino TLC will grant the Argent a new saddle, which will receive reduced weight capabilities of obsidian and various other materials. The ability to craft smithy items within the saddle. The Argent will now be able to carry 2 additional passengers, one with its claws and one in its beak. The Argent will be carrying heavier than current creatures in its talons, while its beak will be able to support the weight of smaller creatures. Lastly, on consuming a corpse, the Argent will receive a rapid health regeneration, making this vulture to be a formidable aerial tank. So a few really good things there. Just really, really good. New saddle that can craft smithy items and has weight reducing capabilities such as obsidian. We don't know what else is to come, but it does say other various other materials. The ability to carry 2 extra passengers, one in its claw and one in its beak, so you're gonna be able to pick up 3 people. Obviously, one riding it, one in its beak and one in its claws. It does say that right here it will be able to pick up heavier stuff in its talons. Because I don't know what it goes up to at the moment, but I know there's certain things you cannot pick up, which is kind of stupid when you should be able to pick up. That's what they're trying to say. They're trying to say that you will be able to pick up different dinos with this new TLC patch. Instead of just the usual, you're going to be able to pick up a bit more with the talons, which is really nice. And with a beak, obviously, you're going to pick up small creatures, and I want to guess what I mean by small creatures, like the Listro. I'm probably guessing that the Listro might be the biggest. I'm not too sure. I'm trying to think of really small creatures, and the Listro is the only thing that comes to mind. Oh, we got the Moss Chops. That may be one of them, but then that may be a tiny bit too big. We're not sure. We'll have to wait and see. And this other bit of information, yes, the Argent Harvest is a vulture bird. It's not an actual like bird as we normally would just assume, like some kind of eagle or something. It's actually meant to be a vulture. Now we do have other vultures in the game, but they are tiny vultures, and this is a big vulture. So they've actually given it the ability to rapidly regain health while it's eaten a corpse, as vultures like prey on corpses. But anyway, let's move on to the Spino, because they have got onto the Spino as well, which looks pretty darn cool. Don't you think? Now there isn't like a huge difference, but you can see one of them's got a bit more detail than the other. But yeah, we got some information about this as well. So the quadrupedal stance on the Spino has been hotly debated since it first joined and ever since. Those for the stance enjoyed its dog-like run, while those against felt it was not true to the real-world version of the dino. With the TLC patch, the Spino will be able to operate bipedal and quadrupedal stances. When on two legs, the Spino will move slower, but be able to bite and use its claws to do increased damage. While on four legs, it will have the ability to move faster. Due to its affinity to water, the Spino will receive a buff which applies a bonus of movement speed, turning radius, attack damage, and health regen while fighting in water, and will last for some time after exiting the water as well. It will also prefer prime fish meat for taming over prime meat, and has an increased chance to gather the prime fish meat as well. But that's all we have information wise on the phase 2. So it's the Argent and the Spino. There may be more that come out, but at the moment we do not know. But we have got some more information about the old dinos in phase 1, because phase 1 hasn't come out yet. It's not due to come out until the week of the 18th of February. So just keep that in mind. So first up we have the Procopter Don. Like I showed you in the last video, this is it. This is the reskin or remodel of it, and this is the old one. There is a lot of improvements, but let's see what else it receives. So it receives a model update, an animation update, sound pass, and new abilities. It will take reduced fall damage. Carry weight will be noticeably increased. Can carry small creatures and baby dinos in its pouch. A knockback kick, which will affect slightly larger dinos. Added an aimed jump, which can be used by holding down the jump key. Carried characters in the pouch will have reduced food consumption rate when carried by a boosted female Procopter Don. Babies imprinted while in a carried Procopter Don pouch receive more affinity. That's pretty good. That's some pretty cool abilities. But moving on to the Gigantopithecus, or the Bigfoot, that has got some new stuff. So here we go. This is the reskin of it. This is the new one. It looks a hell of a lot better than the old one does, but it's received some other stuff as well. Receives a model update, animation update, new fur, sound pass, and some new abilities. The Bigfoot will receive an armor degrading attack. This means when it fights, it will do more damage to the armor's durability. It is important to note that the armor degrading attack will not affect the Yeti creatures found in the game. Added the capability to climb zip lines, but not to jump between them. So here you go, they've actually added the ability that's only just come because of Aberration, and that is the ability to climb zip lines. They've also added a jump to the Bigfoot, or Gigantopithecus. It can now carry and throw small creatures. Throwing has been made more accurate, which is pretty cool. And obviously it's the same as the crabs, they're going to give you a little cursor or crosshair so you can aim. Really nice. Next we have the Dire Bear. Bom bom bom. This is it. This is the new one, looking fantastic, and that is the old one. Looking cool, right? What else has changed? Receives a model update, animation update, new fur, and some new abilities. When riding a dire bear, players will be immune to bees. They won't be able to knock you off your bear, and they will target focus the bear instead of the player. Not too bad. The dire bear will also be able to harvest honey from wild beehives without attracting bees or hurting the hive. Plus, the amount of honey it receives will be ×2 standard amount. So there you go. That's some pretty area specific abilities for the bear. Obviously, bears love honey. They really, really do. They just love honey. While you on the bear, that the bees will not attack you, they'll actually attack the bear, and the bear can actually harvest honey from beehives now without attracting the bees or hurting the beehive, which is really, really nice. And obviously bees are going to get more bears are going to be able to harvest more honey than you can do with your normal hands. That's pretty cool. But bears also like hunting for fish. Now, I thought there might have been something about hunting for fish in there, but there's nothing. But anyway, let's move on to the dire wolf, sorry. So this is the old one, and this is the new one. The fur does look a lot better. The nose is looking a lot better as well. I've already mentioned this in my first video. If you haven't gone and checked it out about the new Dino TLC patch phase 1, I haven't done a video on it. Go and check it out. It is over on my channel. But let's have a look at the information that we have for the Dire. Receives a model update, animation update, new fur, and new abilities. Howl now activates a pack buff for 5 minutes with a minute countdown. When the alpha howls, the pack also howls. The pack buff strengthens the alpha as well as its pack. Reduced amount versus alpha, obviously. Hunter's instinct passive buff, which will allow it to sniff out people / creatures with less than 50% health. Now that's a really cool one. And it'll also be able to sniff out nearby explorer notes or to detect the buried / stealth creatures. Really cool as well. So the direwolf has got a lot to be going on with it. Fair enough, the Howl now has a pack mentality, and it gives a boost to the alpha and so on and so forth. But it can smell out players and creatures with less than 50% health. So if you're actually chasing a creature that you've been trying to kill or be chasing a player and its health is below 50, the wolf will be able to sniff it out and you can go and get it. But also, it's received the sniff ability to detect nearby explorer notes or to detect buried/stealth creatures. Now, I don't know what they mean by stealth creatures. What I know what they mean by buried creatures is the Pavlovas that can dig underground, which you can use them as like underground vaults to store all your really good valuables. That's pretty cool. Stealth creatures, I'm not too sure what they mean about stealth creatures. As far as I know, it's only the rock drake that can go invisible. That's basically kind of stealth. So I'm not too sure about that. But last but not least is the T-Rex. This is a new one that is the old one. Not a hell of a lot of difference, but there are differences that you can see, and I described in more detail on my first video. But let's see what else it got in the Dino TLC patch. Received a model update, animation update, and some new abilities. Its roar should receive a CD and more non-alloys under a certain drag weight. Okay. Poop can act as a small stun. What? There will be a cooldown on victims so that they cannot be poo locked constantly? What in the world? No, I don't quite know what this means. Its roar should receive a certain, I don't know, a certain drag weight. I think that CD stands for. And make non-alloys poop. Oh, okay. Right. Because they didn't put it in like really bad words, which I'm going to translate to now, so a lot of people get it. Okay. If you are like a reasonable creature size, or you're just a human, once a T-Rex roars near you, you will literally shit your pants and it will stun you. That is what they're trying to get across. I don't know why in the world they didn't just say that. You're basically going to shit yourself and stand there going, what do I do? What do I do? You're going to be frozen for a couple of seconds or so. I don't know why. Okay, I'm glad I translated. I'm glad I got that and I translated it for you mortals. Anyway, the roar will not be able to scare anything above its level. So obviously, it will not be able to scare other T-Rexes or Gigas or anything bigger than itself. But anything smaller than itself, it can. So maybe even allos. That'd be pretty cool. Roar will cause a player to poop but not stun them. Okay, it will cause the player to be stunned by the roar. No, it won't. I'm getting that mixed up. Sorry. The player will poop, but it will not be stunned. Okay. But doesn't pooing slow you down sometimes anyway? When you're trying to run off. Okay. Rex's ability to climb over small rocks and steeper slopes has been improved. That's pretty good. It's good that they worked on the roar a bit, because they did it to another dino, didn't they? I forgot what they call it. The one with all the fur that looks like the kind of the T-Rex, but it has the roars that does courage roar and fear roar. I forgot what dino. I forgot what its named is. But yeah, I'm glad to see that they've worked on the roar for the T-Rex, similar to what they did with that one. Especially with making it poop yourself. It's kind of funny, to be fair. But yeah, but that's all the information about the TLC patch Phase 1, which is coming the week of the 18th of February, and some information about Phase 2. We don't know when these coming, but we know it's going to be coming after Phase 1. Now, Phase 1 is only coming to PC on the week of the 18th of February. Console players are going to have to wait at least 2 to 3 weeks, I'm guessing, before it is actually ported over. But we will be getting it no matter what. So anyway, Mortals, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you found it informative. And I hope it helped you out a lot. I hope you're getting excited a bit more for the TLC patch and what is to come with it. Really, really cool. But anyway, Mortals, that is it. I am Mortal T, and I am out.